Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 5th through the 11th, and during that time we have a waning gibbous moon, and that's a time of self-reflection and rebirth, a good time for us to get rid of bad habits and negative thinking and just keep pushing and working towards our goals and accomplishments. We then have the third quarter moon that comes in on April 10th, and a third quarter it's a time when the things that we've been working on since the beginning of the cycle start to come to fruition. We're starting to realize the things that we've been working on. It's also a good time of inward reflection, but time for us to just attain our full potential and just really get rid of negativity and continue working on those things. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So as always, Scorpio, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this particular reading is nothing will come of this situation. All right, let's see what the Scorpio collective has going on. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder today is that you watch the world for synchronicity. So just try to pay attention, be a little bit more vigilant than usual, and say, what are the synchronistic things happening around me? And this could be repeating number patterns that you might see. It could be an animal that you don't see every day, and you might want to use those attributes to help you with some situation in your life. It could be a conversation that you overhear, and kind of like, let's say that you are thinking about buying a car and you're kind of debating back and forth, and you're walking down the street and there's two people walking towards you, and you hear part of their conversation and someone says, yes, you should buy the car, and they're gone. And you're turned like, what did they just say that? Because I'm literally thinking about it. So I've had this kind of things happen a lot, and they're not a mistake. So just pay attention. It's so interesting. It's like unlocking a language. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Anyway, that's my fun weekly reminder, Scorpio. Let's get into this reading for April 5th through the 11th. Oh, we're going to let this go. Nothing will come of this situation. All right, your overall present energy, Scorpio, is the Ace of Cups. So something coming through that you just instantly love. Could be new to you. You know, this is could be new things. A lot of times aces are, but it's just having an open heart. There's something going on around you that you just love. It could just be life right now. It could just be that you're like, I'm just loving life, whatever's going on, and you're just really happy with it. Your current situation is the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is many times about travel. It's also can be just new ventures, just something that you've done, and maybe you're on vacation right now, or maybe you just came off of a vacation and you're just, I just love that vacation. I know that I always have this fantasy wherever we go on vacation. I'm always looking around like, could we live here? You know, like we're in paradise. Is there some reason we don't live in this place right now? So, you know, in this beautiful beach location or this lovely cabin in the woods, wherever, why don't we live here? That's always kind of my fantasy. So is that a new venture for you? Maybe, but just kind of loving where you are. Again, if it's a trip, have fun on your trip. or welcome back if you just came back from your vacation. At the root of your situation is the moon. So you may have had some sort of intuition about this. You know, there may be some intuitive thing, maybe some intuitive thing led you to this place. And maybe you are really, you know, some people do move to a place that's like paradise. So the perfect place for them. So, and this could be just part of a new venture. So, but there's something going on. It is new. And there's something in your intuition that you've already kind of known about this, or something is telling you that this just feels really right. And you're really questioning that. So, whatever that is for you, we'll see if the cards tell us or give us any kind of clue. In your recent past, here is the star card. So look at all of these cards of the night here. The star card is about being on course, being in the right direction, you know, being, you know, it is written in the stars. It's like you're following those clues, like I said, those synchronicities of the universe to get you to this place. But we've got two cards of the night. So maybe on your vacation you were enjoying night sky. Maybe you were so relaxed that you were able to let intuitive thoughts, things come into you. But you're definitely guided. If you were on a trip, you were guided there for some reason, right? And maybe it is about a new venture. Could be. What's on your mind right now is your financial stability, which, if you're thinking about moving to paradise, now remember, I'm using this as an example. This energy can template over so many different things, but you're questioning your financial stability. And if you're like me, I've done all of these things on vacation. Maybe I should be living here. Maybe we should be living by the ocean. Are we financially stable enough to afford this $2 million beach home? Probably not. So we're not quite there yet. So that's where maybe nothing will come of this situation. But you know what? Sometimes it's just fun to dream. And also that's how manifestations come to fruition, is those little moments where you're just like off and you're imagining yourself in your $2 million beach home that sits right on the ocean, where you can just open your door up and walk out to the beach any old time and watch the sunrise or watch the sunset or hang out on the beach. So listen, indulge in that fantasy. Even if nothing will come of it, indulge of it. That's how manifestations start and manifestations happen, and things do come to fruition from them sometimes as well. What is just ahead of you is the high priestess. Look at all this. Look at, the moon and the high priestess are both, and the star, all cards of the night, all cards of knowing things, all cards of this watery intuition. Look at all the water that's happening in all three of those cards. That's emotion. That's really feeling into something. And that is how things manifest. Is when we can get behind those feelings and feel as if we already have the thing, are the thing, right? That's, they say, this is the big secret to it. I've been in these moments. I'm not perfect at it yet, but I've been in those moments where I've manifested things because I knew they were coming. And it's amazing when it happens. It really is. So here you are. That's ahead of you is the high priestess. So it's almost like a boost from this moon card, which is intuitive. This is about dreams, like a premonition dream that you have, and you start acting on it. But look, I mean, this person is really, really in thought about all of these things. And can I make this happen with my financial situation right now? Maybe you can. If you can, go for it. But there's something very interesting about just the setup of this entire setup here, Scorpio. And you guys tend to be intense. This is a very intense type reading. In your advice position is look at this new perspective. You're looking at things from a new perspective, and maybe your intuition has changed something. Maybe your financial situation has changed, and you're thinking, you know what? I can do this new venture. I can move to paradise. I can do this thing that I'm thinking of. Whatever it is, again, you love it. It's starting because you're just really having this emotion about it and these intuitions about it as well. So some new perspective might just be changing your mind on it. What is beyond your control is to final push through here with the 10 of Wands. So beyond your control to maybe kind of finish something. Is it to get out of this daydream and finish this thought? Maybe it's to finish something so that you can move off onto this new venture. Maybe you're like, you know what, I'd rather spend my time daydreaming and dreaming about this thing than being stressed about whatever this thing is. So let's get rid of that so I can make more room for this in my life. And don't we all come back from vacation a little bit changed every time? I know I do. I come back and I'm a little bit more of a minimalist. I feel like when we used to go camping a lot, and I'd come back and think, why do I have all this crap in my house? We just lived for 2 weeks, in a tent or a camper or however we were camping that time with so little. And I was fine. I was fine. I actually had more time to relax and hike and do those kinds of things. So, sometimes a trip can change us, a vacation can change us and make us want to live our life a little bit differently. If that's happening to you, of course, leave me a comment. I'd be very curious to know. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Knight of Wands is action on the passion front. Is that your secret desire, is just to go ahead and take the action on this thing that you love and you're newly passionate about? It could be. Or are you trying to avoid that? Are you thinking, I don't know if I'm secure enough financially to do this? That's on your mind, is this financial security thing kind of keeps coming up, right? You think a thing and then you're like, oh, well, am I limited by that? So if that's the case, you need to work on that. Then you need to work on those pentacles and learning how to gain more of those so that you can live this dream. If you think that's what's holding you back, sometimes they say when we're manifesting, don't think about the particulars. Don't worry about the money part of it, because if you're dreaming about this enough, that you kind of don't have to worry. The universe will swoop in and do things that you're like amazed by. It's like, what did that just happen? And by that, let's say that you're thinking, am I financially stable? And all of a sudden, a friend calls you and said, "Hey, I was on vacation at that place where you were, and that there's a beach house here, and it's going to be for sale at a really reduced price." And you're thinking, "What? I can afford that." So, I'm just saying, let those surprising things, let the universe surprise you. In your outcome position is look at you just being happy. And I think happy no matter what. Happy if this comes to fruition, of course, also happy in the dream of it. So, what do they say? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And sometimes just having that time to dream about something like that is so much fun to do. It's that feeling. It's the reason why we buy a lottery ticket, right? It's to have that ticket in your hand, and now you get to just dream about what could happen if that came true. And that's what we're purchasing. Really, in the end, it's just that time to have that little fantasy, have that dream. So I love that. And I love at the end of this, whether this happens or not, you're still going to be happy. You're going to be fine. What is hidden from you is a new journey. Wow. What if this one pops up next week? I hope something happens for you that you're able to bring whatever this is to fruition. You're obviously having intuitions about it. Does this new journey pop up a little later in your life? Next week, next month, next year could be. I'm going to say keep the dream alive and keep dreaming about things because that's fun. That's why we're here. I love having these kind of daydreams and just really going out there, just dream big. Okay, Scorpio, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message: laugh at your demons. So nothing will come of this situation. Again, continue dreaming big. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You're still going to be happy, but also laugh at your demons a little bit. What are those? We all have them. We kind of have to laugh, and probably something within that fantasy. Maybe it's just like, well, maybe that's pushing it a little bit, right? Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. I'm trying to think if I know Scorpios, I'm going to try to see who's dreaming big this week. Decision is the card that you get for self-care. Sometimes the best decision is no decision at all. Well, there you go. Sometimes it's just fun to fantasize and think about it. So, Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use. If you had something huge that you were dreaming about, let me know. Let me know if you came off vacation or something. If any of this resonated with you, I'd be very curious to hear about it. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe will help you find me next week. Come back and see if you do have this Fool in your reading for next week. See if there is some sort of new journey that this is kind of the catalyst for. So thanks so much for being here, Scorpio. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.